Hey everybody, welcome to our team call. It's our weekly team call, same time, same place, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central. We have two teams represented here. We have Brenda Martin's Diamond Team, Team Fire, and we have BK Kroll's Diamond Team here too, Guts and Grace Community. But we have so many other teams, and I want to kind of know the names of your teams. Put them in the comments below if you feel like doing that. It's always fun to hear what you've named your teams. It's very, very special. You guys, I have just a couple of quick things I want to announce before we give this call over to two amazing senior rubies, Ali Bachand and Liz Crowl. They are talking about welcome calls and how to use them for retention. And this is just kind of a reminder, for the month of May, our Emerald here on this call, where are you, Miss Emerald, whose child just got married? Yes, Sonia Chris. She had this idea. She was like, hey, all month of May, and I think actually into the next month potentially too, let's take what's already been done and let's regurgitate it in a little bit of a fresh way for our teams because you guys, nothing is new here. Really, this stuff is so simple to recruit. You've got to learn some of those simple skills to duplicate, to retain, and to grow in leadership. And so that's what we're doing. It makes it so fun too, because after our calls, you can go back and watch the original training of the person that did the training beforehand. So we will make sure to get that information to you after the call. But two things. Convention is next month. Tell me in the chat if you are going to convention. And then tell me if you are still inviting to convention. And I'm asking you this because 2 weeks before my first convention, I said, yes, I will come to convention. And my husband and I are like, what have we said? Now I need to buy a $600 plane ticket. How are we going to do that? I sold a couple things on Craigslist. Remember that before Facebook Marketplace? And that did not cover the $600, but it took the edge off. And then somehow he ended up getting some extra days off of work, but it's not too late to come. Did you know that? Pray about it. Talk to your uplines. Talk to your spouse. Look in your bank account. See what kind of money you could make this month to put into that because we still have 13 days left in May. So that's the next thing I want to bring up. We have a bingo challenge going on in our Love Your Business Club chat. You guys, I want to encourage you to go look at the little bingo board. It is so simple. We could all knock out one of those things tonight before we go to bed. You East Coasters, you would have to stay up a little later. But I'm just saying, go for it. There's 13 days left in the month. Tell us down below your goals. I hope you have goals. If you consider yourself a builder here, I want to hear. Maybe it's I want to go silver and I want to work on making a silver baby. If you have a point goal, tell us your point goal. If it's a rank goal, tell us your rank goal. We want to know. And guess what? If you're like, I don't have one yet, this month has flown by and I'm still learning how to do this, go to your upline and say, please help me make a goal. I want to lock in for the last 13 days. Okay, that's enough for me. Take it away, Ali Bachand and Liz Crowl. We can't wait to hear from you. I have my notes ready. Ready, set, go.
Okay, I'm gonna screen share here. Can you see my screen? Okay. And then let me hit present. So this whole training is on welcome calls. I don't know if you have ever done a welcome call, but this was a training that Christina Williams did. So we'll give you the link to the actual her call. But it was something Brenda had her on a call. I listened, and then I think it was maybe 2 days later, I did a welcome call based off of her training. So one of the first things that she mentioned that I think is an amazing statistic is really kind of why we should be eager to share the opportunity. Because I will tell you, I am a senior Ruby, I am 7 years in, and I still feel I'm finding my voice and sharing the business. It is not an easy thing. Despite what people say, it's not easy for everyone. I am still finding my voice, but 60% of Americans worry about money every single day. Every single day. And she said something like, the other 40% probably worry about it every other day. something along those lines. And 70% of Americans said they would start 40 conversations if they could earn $1,000 without even knowing what they would be talking about. And you can see that many women have lost sleep over financial stress, and some even believe that it has damaged their physical health, which I can believe that. We have definitely lived paycheck to the day before paycheck before, and thankfully we're not anymore. So these are just some interesting statistics as to why we should be sharing the business and what we have here.
And I told Allie earlier, I was like, that can be shared in our stories.
Right.
Like that's a really great statistic. Like just a little screenshot of that little box. This is me. Sorry. Also, one of the things Allie and I were talking about earlier is we just want you to know that you oftentimes throughout this whole journey are going to feel vastly underqualified. And as I was going through these slides, I was like, wow, I was putting some things together because Allie and I were talking about our strengths and the things that we haven't done. And we're like, wow. And then we can look at our teams and see the different things that we are successful in and we struggle with. And so if you feel underqualified to do something like going over slides, still do it because it's going to teach you so much. And that's how you grow when you do the hard things. So, when you're looking at this slide, you can take a screenshot of it. The big thing that just hits me when I'm reading this is how do I want to be treated? And if I am a customer, then how do I treat that? Like, this is a person. This is somebody like, you can think about the good conversations and the bad conversations that you've had. How do you want to be talked to? And so I know that this is talking about like sharing the opportunity and share and feeling and this whole idea, this is what Allie and I were talking about. Like it's okay if it feels messy. It is okay if it feels messy. And sometimes I've even said to people, like, I know I came for these products and the business opportunity, and sometimes I still feel like I trip over my feet, but I never want to assume that I know where somebody is financially. And so I just want to let you know that there's this opportunity attached. Here is what's on the possibility for this month, etc. And I found that to be a really like nervous system safe place to be. If you ever feel nervous to say something, it's usually because your brain doesn't know the difference between a physical danger and it not being one. And so sometimes we get nervous to say something, but just being like, hey, I never want to assume where someone is, because if somebody had assumed that I was a physician assistant and I was very happy in my job and with the money I was making, they never would have introduced me to the opportunity here. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. That's you.
So, oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking on what I was going to say here. Oh, no, I know what I was going to say. Sorry. I want you to type this in. Okay. What is the difference
Yes.
between asking somebody in Messenger or leaving them a voicemail over Messenger, let's say, whatever, and getting onto a face-to-face phone call or video chat when you ask the magic question, if you like these products, are you going to talk about them? I'm going to give you a little bit of time to answer that. What is the difference? There is a big difference. This is why a welcome call can have a profound impact on what you do here. Anybody have an answer?
I can't see the chat, so I don't know.
I got it. They can see you're excited. They have to answer immediately. Yes.
Yes.
You ask a question and you pause and you do not fill the silence, even if it's awkward, and you allow them to answer. All right, go ahead.
Yes, and I just like this too. I'm a millennial. I'm a 90s baby, so I don't really like to get on the phone. I don't. But this is like, okay, the next step is for us to get on the phone. That's literally what I told the girl when I did the welcome call. I said, okay, great, your products are going to be coming to you soon. How did I tell her? I said, will you tell me when they get there and then we need to get on the phone? And she was like, okay, yes, sounds good. So just telling them basically like, this is the next step. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to get on the phone together. And then the purpose of a welcome call, what it is not to get on the phone with them and convince them to quit their job and be a boss babe. and do the business with you. That's not the point of it. The point is to actually uncover what their objections, limiting beliefs, what fears they might have. So you have to think of it as you are learning a little bit more about them so you know how to better serve them and better follow up with them for the long-term follow-up process. Because not everyone's going to be like, yeah, I want to tell my friends about them. People, there's generally like 2 to 3 things of what people are going to say. So we will go over some of that as well.
And I think we entitled this like welcome calls and retention, right? So we're
Mhm.
kind of weaving in how retention is helpful here. So as I was going over all of this material, I don't feel like I'm very strong in welcome calls. I do have really good retention, and I think it's because all of this is like it's getting to know somebody. And when somebody is feeling known and they feel like what they have to say is important, they are going to feel more invested in the whole process. One of the things that I remember a handful of people saying to me when I worked in clinic was, nobody has ever asked me the types of questions you're asking me. Like, how do you sleep? When you wake up in the morning, are you exhausted? What time are you going to bed? I mean, I was asking these kind of questions in clinic. And when you ask these questions, they're like, oh my goodness, this person is invested in me. And now you take note of these things and you keep following up on them. Now, one thing that Ellie and I discovered, I did not realize this about myself. I like to live in this area, gathering information. It's the clinician in me. But what I realized is the correct place for this is after the sale.
Mhm.
It's not before. I live in this place before. This is a moment because like, oh, interesting. I tend to spend way too much time gathering information instead of focusing on let's get the sale and then move into this area. So if that's a struggle for you, yes, good, Samantha, yes. Put it in its rightful place. This is a good place to be, but put it in its rightful place.
And then we've realized I am the opposite, where I have no problem asking for a sale and recruiting, but I don't want to say it's painful, but it takes a lot for me to sit down and get these kinds of questions out. So I have straight up used these 3 specific questions. What do you do for a living? As I didn't know with the girl I signed up, she told me she was a teacher. How long have you been teaching? She's like, oh, I've been there for like 13 years. Do you like it? Yeah, I love it. So now I know where she works. I know what she does, but this is the relationship part for me. Like Liz and I were talking, so like I'm a good recruiter, but my retention is a bit weaker. And then Liz, her retention is great. So we have things that we can always be learning from each other because this to me is painful to sit and ask all of the types of questions. It just is. I've always got something going on or a kid or something, but these 3 questions specifically are really great for starting that conversation. And then you can move into, validating their purchase, that they have made a great decision. And then next,
And I want to say too, I remember Emily Roberts saying she's always over exuberant. Like you have just made an incredible decision because people need us to be more excited for them than they are for themselves.
yeah.
Sometimes they're still in a place of like, I hope I made the right decision. Some people just spent, $250. They're like, I hope this helps me. And when we're excited for them, that is worth it. I mean, like that's an investment in this person, and they need to borrow our belief sometimes.
hmm So this is the question. Like this to me is the purpose of the welcome call. Like this part right here, I got to know her. I asked her where she works. I asked her how long she had done it. I asked her if she loved it. I talked a little bit about like a couple of different people that we know. And I finally I was like, okay, say it, say it, say it. You gotta get the question out, get the question out. And I was like, okay, great. So if you love these products, do you think you would be telling people about them? And she was like, oh, absolutely. I will totally tell people about them. She's like, I've already had people ask me what I'm doing and what I'm going to order. So that one, most people will say right here, like you can see, most people will say, yeah, I'll probably share once I see results. Like that's, I think, very, very common, which you would move into say, okay, perfect. When you love your products, what would motivate you to share? Would it be the extra income, helping others with their health, or both? But a lot of times we will get objections that are like, no, I can't do that because I'm not a salesperson. I don't have the time, maybe, but you have to get that question out because you really can uncover. I've done a couple of welcome calls, but I fall off and then got back on after listening to a training. And it's so interesting to hear how people think and how certain words can uncover because we know these things now. We've been training, we've been studying, we've done the mindset stuff. So it's interesting to see what they say to just one little question and how much you can actually take out of their answer.
And that's the purpose of these calls, connecting to see where is that like block for them? Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I really love this objection. This one I feel like I finally can handle well. And it's several examples that I've heard over the years that I will say, like, well, the common one is, first of all, we want to not just blow it off. Oh, don't worry about it. You'd be like, yeah, I get that. I totally do. Um, but, or also, like checking out a restaurant together or going to watch a movie together. And I like to say it as a joke, like, yeah, I mean, it's like if you were to say, hey, let's go check out a movie, but I'm going to watch it first. And if I really like it, we'll go watch it in 6 months together. Like people can see the ridiculousness of that, or even a realtor doesn't need to live in a house for 2 weeks in order to recommend it to you.
Mm-hmm.
People, I mean, they're so obvious, but also just your body is totally different. And
Right.
even if we start going to the gym together, we're going to have very different results. If we start eating the same identical diet, we're going to have totally different results.
Agreed. And then some of the next steps, if they are open to sharing, if they do say yes, you want to kind of keep that conversation, keep that momentum going. So encouraging a Facebook post. And there's so many different examples of like what a first post could look like. I don't think we need to go over that. But then monitoring that post as well, watching for comments, teaching them how to kind of go in with those comments and follow up. Building a list of 10 people, very simple, nothing crazy. We don't need a crazy list, but just 10 people. I like to ask why. Okay, why did that person come to mind? And that's to clarify their intent. Why did they come to mind? Because they are always tired, they're always sick, or whatever it may be. And then, okay, are you wanting to share the products, the opportunity, or both with this person? So you will go through with them, all of those people individually, one by one, to help them send a message because I don't think that there is a perfect reach out message. I'm not a copy paste person. So I think it needs to be individualized. So when you're working with them closely on each of those people, you're going to help them create a message to send to each of those people as well.
Smart. Hey, I also told Allie earlier, I said, you're really, really good at getting people to put up a shout out often in their stories or even on their Facebook page. And I think it's because Allie has such a strong presence on social media. And I think her people just copy her. And that's really cool. They'll watch her for a while and they're getting ideas. Remember, we're not just showing up to be telling people about products. We're also showing them how it's done. And when you give somebody through your own actions, I mean, it's like parenting. Our kids mirror our behavior. And so somebody who's finally inspired enough or recognizes what you're saying to be true for them, and then if they believe it's possible that they can do the same thing, well, they're going to copy you. They're going to copy you. So I think Allie has really good shout outs because she has really amazing social media presence. Um, so in this idea, like when somebody is not open, when they still are like hesitant or whatever, my encouragement is to continue building relationship. Do not give up on them. The number of people who I have who have said like, you did not pressure me. Thank you. You helped me to realize that I can like do this in my own way or whatever. It's been really encouraging to be like, we don't give up on people. I like that. Patience is key. Keep nurturing the relationship because that door can always open later. And all of your questions, um, I always like to be like, what's the update? How are you feeling? And when they tell me if it's something positive, even if it's little, I'm like, oh my goodness, There are so many people I can think of off the top of my head who need to hear your story. Would you be willing to share it and tag me in it? Because I know people in my life and in my Facebook and Instagram feed would love to hear what you have to say and the changes that you've had. And then I wait. And if they say, yes, of course. Um, if they hesitate at all, I'll be like, I'd be happy to help you write it. There's the toddler. And sometimes they're like, yes, please help me. Like, what is it that holds them back? And then sometimes if they're like, no, I say, would you be like kind of the last offer would be, would you let me write it up and tag you in it? So I want to help them initiate it and do it on their own, but then through my questions, kind of filter out what is the objection, where can I help, while also giving them the confidence that they can indeed do it.
Love it. And these are after you've had your conversation, just different ways to follow up with them. Inviting to an event, whether it is like a Zoom call or if it's a messenger chat or in person, is really amazing. If you can get people in person, I highly recommend doing in-person events. Sending diamond documentaries are also really helpful. I've had a couple of hairstylist friends where I can send, Kinley's information and videos of her. And like Liz said, just continuing to build a relationship because you don't know, you never know when somebody is going to finally be ready to share. Sharing wins and rank ups, just keeping excitement, showing when people are ranking up, and then sharing, what that looks like, what the bonuses did, what your family's been allowed to do. Somebody asked me today why I do this, and I said, because I got to sleep in until 9:45 this morning. I didn't have anywhere I had to be. Like, I want to own my own time. So that is all that we have in this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I
I want
can.
to add something to this one too. When we are sharing with people in an ongoing way, don't be afraid to share non-plexus things with them. I mean, if something comes to mind, if I happen to read something about, the role of aloe vera for intestinal lining, and somebody has told me about all their food allergies, I'm going to send it to them because ultimately I want that person to heal. And I also want them to know that like I am for them, even if they don't order Plexus. If I'm like, hey, I read this and you came to mind and I just wanted you to see this information. And then sometimes I'll be like, I love that we have aloe and X Factor and hydrate. So anyway, we are open for questions too.
Sorry, I'm
If
trying to get the link so I can put it in the chat. I'm sorry for the slides.
there we go. Oh, no, that's not what I'm
I
doing.
put it in the business chat.
Oh, you did already?
Yes.
Okay, I've lost you guys. I don't know where you are.
But you can put it too if people want to open it on their laptop or whatever.
Ooh.
That was so good. Well, I have a question. So these welcome calls, my first thought goes to like our meet plexus calls or like the welcome calls that your upline does for the whole team once a month. These calls are for us individually to do one-on-one with our new VIPs after they've ordered, correct?
Yes. And then after you could do like that's when you could do the three-way. I want you to meet so and so. My person that I did this call with, I actually ended up putting her in a three-way with Brienne because she's extremely invested in the slim and trim and has seen Brienne's husband's results on my page and wants to know more and more. So it's like, oh, this is his wife right here. You should get to know her. And she's also local to us. So we were able to like bring her back around to our next event.
That is awesome.
But it is, yes, for one-on-one. So you can really uncover their objection if there is one.
I love that this is something we can prep people for too. As soon as we start talking to them about the products, when they come in, we can be like, oh my goodness, what's so cool is when you end up ordering with me, like what's going to be so fun is we're going to be getting on a call, like, and I would love to do FaceTime or Zoom, just put that bee in your bonnet, just so that they know, like, that's how we're going to be connecting here.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I was really struck with too, going through these slides, like all the ways that we can cast the future vision for them. As I was mulling over, like, why does this kind of conversation lead to retention? And one of the analogies that I use all the time, sorry, I gesture wildly with my hands, I'll sit on them, is you cannot walk 10 miles into the woods and expect to turn around and walk out in 2. And there are many sort of alternative health practitioners who say you can expect at least a month for every year that you have dealt with that particular health issue to begin to turn it around backward. And so helping people, yes, Sonia, investment, helping people to think about longer term instead of, we have all these beautiful testimonies of people who have lost 20, 30, 40 pounds in like, 3, 4 months. And that's what people start to expect. But really helping people to understand you and your story has been going on for a really long time. Your body needs to calm down. Your nervous system needs to calm down. There's a lot that your body needs to begin to sort out. And part of my story too is that I explained that once my body started to, it felt like my body calmed down when I started Plexus, and then the background static began to get quiet. And all of a sudden I was like, I feel like I can breathe again. So using these kind of conversations to convey to somebody that it's going to take time for your body helps them to also, I think, feel seen and be more invested for the long term.
I love that.
anybody have
What is
any
the one
questions
thing that
about-
corporate, oh, did I interrupt you, Allie?
I just said, does anybody have any questions at all? I'm just like trying to catch up and read through the chat.
I haven't seen any. But that's the one thing that corporate says statistically helps with retention is what? Get people a paycheck. So this call is to help not just open up the door for them to continue ordering their products with you. That is definitely a foundation to this call, but it's to open up their hearts and minds to potentially share and get them that first $37. Because when that happens, they are more likely to stay on for 6 months on their products. The paycheck affects their longevity on the products. Isn't that amazing? You get them to silver. Now the stat is they're more likely to stay on for almost a year on the products. So we got to get creative up in here with our juices. Like, how can I get them open to sharing?
Thank you for adding that. That's one thing that I've realized. I'm like, I have good retention, but I don't have good duplication. And I think it's because I focus on keeping people on the products instead of talking about like, how can I get this person a paycheck? So I think that's an area that I need growth in. And also when you uncover these areas, there's no room for you to like lambaste yourself. Just be like, oh, okay, I need to work there. Like I'm strong over here, but this area needs some work. And it means nothing about you from like a character perspective. It just means you need to strengthen those skills. So I'm realizing that for myself too.
Amen to that. I don't know about anybody else here. You probably feel the same way, but some months I'll feel stronger in a certain area and totally like, oops, totally did not focus on that as much as I should have last month. And then we just start over afresh every single month. Yay. People saying, I can grow. I can definitely grow. We can say that out loud to each other. That is so beautiful. Okay. Any last comments? Concerns? Questions?
Thanks for coming.
This was fantastic. Who's going to do welcome calls? I want to see hands raised. Who's going to start to do welcome calls? If you're concerned about it, grab your upline for your first welcome call. My 2 uplines, they were sisters. They had me on, they didn't call it a welcome call. They just somehow got me on a call with both of them, just telling me how excited they were about me getting on the products. They didn't even share the opportunity, but they did get me onto the Team Fire team page. And I saw, who knows, I might have seen a bunch of you. I might have seen Sonia on there making money, honey. I was like, ooh, these ladies are relatable and cute, and they're making money. So you just never know who's going to be your next silver, gold, diamond. Thanks, guys. That was really, really good. Have a great night, guys. Exactly 30 minutes. We did it. We missed you, Brenda. Bye.